What's up, and welcome to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar, episode 84. 84, yes, because I was like
I
last
don't
week.
know.
No, 83, I think. Yes, 83. We come to you every Monday here on YouTube. It's live, it's a Monday, and we always bring you that fun Monday energy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The biggest Monday energy.
Woo! But you know what? We are happy to be here to talk with all of you.
Indeed.
Hello, I am Carrie Lane.
And I'm Katie Cullen.
So we will be talking about the show that we are currently covering, which is Reign of the Seven Spellblades, which we'll get to in a moment. We have a little bit of anime news. We have Overwatch, and then stick around for the end where we give you recommendations on other media and such that we are consuming that we think you should check out.
Yes.
If you're joining us live, join us in the live chat. And if you're watching later, no worries, comment down below. Looking over the live chat, we got Giga Derek says, it's Monday. You know what that means. Yes, Monday energy, but we are here for all of you. Yes.
I had a Starbucks pick me up at 4 p.m. and it was not enough.
It's been a Monday, man.
It's been a Monday.
Yes.
It is a scorcher out here right now, and that will do it. Hey, fam.
Hello, John Knight says, hello, ladies. Yes, hello, everybody. And let's get right into some quick news. So things we are excited about.
Yes.
So this one, I heard about this. I was like, oh, interesting. So Anime Expo is doing AX Cinema Nights. And you're like, what's that? Well, the Iconic Events Releasing, which is a company specializing in distribution, special engagement, theatrical events to theaters, is bringing anime to the big screens, and they're pairing up with, their installment is called AX Cinema Nights. So there's different acclaimed anime feature will be screened at over 300 theater locations across the country, the United States. If we have anybody from abroad, hello and welcome.
Hi.
Most of our news is here, but still, we love to have you. Beginning in September and is continuing through February of 2024. So got quite a few options. So some of the films will include Satoshi Kon. There's a Satoshi Kon Film Festival. Highly recommend. Those films are amazing.
If you have issues with unreality, Satoshi Kon may not be for you. But
it's a
dang,
lot.
they're good.
Yes. So doing 3 of the films, directors for renowned films, Perfect Blue 25th anniversary, so nice. Tokyo Godfathers, also 20th anniversary. That one's a really great film. And Paprika, which is incredible. That's a really great film. So, as well as other presentations such as Ghost in the Shell, Cowboy Bebop the movie, and both subtitled and dub screenings are scheduled. So you get your pick. So the first one starts on September 6th. And again, they go all the way to the end of February 11th. So stick around for all that. 25, trying to see if there's a good spot for you to find more information. We will tag that in our tweet, which you can follow us. Where to go? There we go. NTATNB on social, on Twitter. I'm still going to call it Twitter.
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
It's
So
Twitter.
yeah, you can find it over there, and we'll post any other links or images for that. So check that out. That's very exciting. Anime in theaters is if you're comfortable and if you're able, and it's nearby you, if you're able to go nearby you, win-win. It's great to see it also with fans. That energy is amazing.
So right when the 4Kids, Ghibli's, not 4Kids, oh my God, GKIDS, gracious, big Monday energy. Right when the GKIDS Ghibli screenings are starting to wind down, these are going to be winding up. So regardless, anime in theaters continues.
Yes. All right, so let's get into, where's my button over here? We get Overwatch. League is an anime.
We're back. We are back. Oh my God, you guys, what a weekend. We had the play-ins for the APAC region, and we have one of the last 2 weeks of regular season matches in the NA region, including like the banger this time around. The Florida Mayhem versus the Boston Uprising. This pretty much was the big one. This is the weekend where the top 3 teams clinch their spots. The Atlanta Reign, with the winningest team record, have already clinched that, yes, they are going to the playoffs. But everyone else was fighting for those last 2 playoff spots, and then for the bottommost teams fighting for the play-ins because I believe it is New York, London, and the LA Gladiators are all kind of staring down that last elimination spot down in the bottom with the Vegas Eternal and the LA Valiant, who are definitely not coming, having won 2 matches and 0 matches respectively. Other way around, 0 matches and 2 matches. Regardless, they're not coming. So we have those 3 teams trying to figure things out. The Gladiators did manage a win against New York this weekend, which good for them. They seem to be coming back up because we are on the heels of a patch and a brand new support character. It's Ilaria, I believe, is her name, and she is incredible. And like Batiste, we can see a lot of DPS people starting to hop on to play her as well because it's a very similar skill set. So that is swinging things. We also have a new map pool, a new map type with Flashpoint. So that has been our map 3 for a lot of these matches. And for those of you who miss the 2CP maps that we've lost, like me, Flashpoint is not the same, but similar. A lot more fast paced though. So that's a new map type to get to, and that requires its own specific comps and very highly mobile comps. And we have had a complete meta change with the patch. We've buffed some characters, we've debuffed others. It's a little wild, but we are rolling into what looks like an Orisa meta. And when was the last time we had an Orisa meta? Was it Double Shield? Was it 2 years ago when we were still playing in Overwatch 1 and it was the Orisa meta, the Orisa Sigma Double Shield meta? I kind of think that's what it was. So it's been a hot minute, but we've had an Orisa buff. We've had the meta shift has made it so that Sombra is no longer meta. And that was the question looking at the Atlanta Reign. Like, they have built this season on the back of spectacular Sombra play from Lip. I think we all kind of forgot that Lip is an amazing Widowmaker as well. So, of course, Atlanta's match went the way of Atlanta. Like, the Washington Justice put up a fight, but not enough of one. And yeah, Atlanta's not looking to slow down anytime soon. We know they're vulnerable. We know this is not necessarily their preferred comp, but they're not losing it anytime soon. Same with the Houston Outlaws. To be fair, they were up against the Vegas Eternal, and then next week's match, they are up against the London Spitfire. So there's very much a question of, are they actually going to show what they're playing, or are they going to take these next 2 matches fairly easy because they are, like, Vegas was a fairly easy win, let's be real. I like to put a little more respect on London's name than that. But there is a question as to whether Atlanta and the Outlaws are showing what they're actually going to be playing, or if they're just throwing stuff together and having fun and keeping their secrets until the tournament in Canada. And we'll see. We'll see what winds up being the case. For now, the banger of a match that we had this weekend was the Boston Uprising versus the Florida Mayhem, our, I believe, 2nd and 4th seed teams trying to clinch who would be going to playoffs and who would be stuck in play-ins. And of course, we went to a map 5. Of course, it was back and forth and back and forth. This is not reverse sweep territory. We just went a little crazy, and Florida pulled it out. So our top 3 teams, our teams that have clinched their place in the playoffs, are, of course, the Atlanta Reign, the Houston Outlaws, and the Florida Mayhem. Boston is going to be dropping to the play-ins. Of course, they've clinched their place in the play-ins along with most of our middle tier teams. And again, we are waiting to see which team amongst the Spitfire, the Gladiators, and the New York, I believe, and Excelsior, which of those teams is going to fall below the line and end their season next week. So that's going to be real interesting on the NA side. On the APAC side, we had our first 2 nights of play-ins for them. So I thought that I personally, my bracket is busted at this point. My bracket is just destroyed. I kind of thought some of these contenders teams were going to do a little better because Dreamers especially has been having a banger of a season. But as it stands in bracket B, We have the Fuel versus the Spark as our remaining match in the upper bracket. And our lower bracket, our teams that are trying to fight to stay in, are going to be Panthera versus Dreamers, as Dreamers drop their match to the Spark. Spark's a solid team, that's fair. And Rhodes versus Poker Face. So we got 4 contenders teams in the knockouts in bracket A. In bracket B, our top bracket match is the Soul Infernal versus O2 Blast. I thought that O2 Blast was going to fall to the Soul Dynasty, but nah, they rolled them. So in our elimination bracket, we have the Guangzhou Charge versus the Soul Dynasty and the Shanghai Dragons versus Contenders SPG. So the Contenders teams are having a hell of a road, which honestly fair. They are up against the pros, and there is that stratification of who's got the funding, who's got the time, etc. But I'm proud of O2 Blast. Like, way to be, you guys. I'm fully expecting the Soul Inferno to take it and to take the finals match as well, because the Soul Inferno has been on absolute fire. I hope that the Dynasty will pull up rather, so we can have a nice little Soul Bowl at the end, because the Soul Dynasty versus the Soul Infernal is always a good time, and Soul Bowl is fun to say. So yeah, we're going to have some absolutely crazy games next week, both during the day and at night, depending on your time zone. Tune in, have fun. It's a little late to do a bracket for the APAC side, but there will be an NA bracket available once the play-ins start. So yeah, if you need a team to root for, hit me up. I will assign you one. I promise it won't be a team that's below the cutoffs. I'm not that rude.
You're like, mwahaha.
You can root for the Valiant and experience the pain I did. No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
Yeah, nice.
You can root for the Valiant if you want. It's just a tough time.
Come on, everybody loves an underdog, though. So yeah.
Oh, they're not an underdog.
Oh, okay.
They're just host.
Ah.
We do have a few underdog teams with like a chance. Not the Valiant. Not the Valiant. Not the Eternal. Not this year. You want an underdog team that you're hoping has a chance? You pull for the Gladiators at this point, because their drop-off was a vertical line, and we are really hoping that the patch pulls through for them and causes issues for their competitors for that last spot. Like, they are gunning for a redemption arc, and they need it.
Yeah. Alrighty. Something other newsy-wise that we just got on the comments, which, yes, I went and looked too. Today is the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers.
Oh my god.
According to Wikipedia,
Wow.
it premiered on August 28th, 1993. What?
Yeah, that tracks.
Because it makes sense, because it's kind of like fun of summer, but school time and kids, and yep. All right, though, speaking of Power Rangers, if you're into Power Rangers at all, here on the Fanversation channel, we have interviews with a bunch of Power Rangers. I think most of them are all on the WonderCon playlist, and possibly there was a Power Rangers playlist made. I can't recall at this moment, but
so.
I think I made a Power Rangers playlist. But if you just look here on Fanversation, there are a lot of Power Rangers interviews, including the OG Black Ranger. So, all right. And we have a few over the years, too. So depending on which one's your favorite one, we probably got someone from that season.
Mm-hmm.
We got Giga Eric saying, Morphin time, yes. All right, so let's get into our show. So funny thing is, I was texting Katie. I watched, because we're watching 3 episodes at a time right now to get caught up, and we had last week off because of life
reasons.
So thank you everybody for sticking around. Sometimes those do happen, and we readjust. But I watched them like midweek, and I text Katie. I'm like, well, damn.
And I wrote back, I haven't watched it yet. I watched it last night. Yo, what the fuck? Just again, we haven't read the light manga. Yeah. Oh my god, the light novels or the manga. I know this is an adaptation, so like if you have
episode 6.
Yes. So we're only covering up to episode 6. Please, no spoilers in the chat or in the comments. At our 3 episode a week pace, we will be caught up next week. Looks like. Yeah, so I love that we were like, episode 4, it's a duel, but actually it's a massacre, but actually it's a little crazy. Okay, Episode 5. What if we go delving into someone's brainstem? All right, cool. Cool. Episode 6. Okay, we're going to have a nice little denouement from that. Just kidding. Murder cult. He's a freshman. I would just like to point out that he is a freshman. Oh my god. I realized that like he's super special awesome for having one of the spell blades in his possession and being able to use this crazy ass magic, but only twice before it starts to really affect him. He could potentially die from it. Like, okay, cool. But again, I'm gonna roll back to he is in charge of this murder cult and he is a freshman.
We don't know exactly how old he is though. But
That's
still,
true.
it's a freshman. But he could be 18, 19, or 20.
I doubt it.
I doubt it. He's probably
I have my
16.
doubts.
Standard anime, he's probably 14 actually.
Yeah, this is all hitting big 14-year-old vibes.
Yeah.
Anime 14-year-old, you know?
Yeah, not real
Yeah.
world. Yeah, no, I love that of the so it's this bloodbath arena fight. And I'm like, oh, are we raising the stakes that like everybody dies? Oh no, just kidding. They're really, really injured.
Literally nobody died.
Nobody died. Okay.
So I was watching that bit with Megan because she was only able to watch one of them with me last night. So tonight we're going to sit down for a rewatch and I'm going to be like, when all the stuff happens. But she's watching this with me and she's like, oh, is this how we get the 20% of casualties?
Right?
Yeah, probably. Yes. But no, zero. If you mean 20% of fatalities, rather. Plenty of casualties here, but no fatalities.
And then you almost kind of feel like y'all deserved it in terms of why are you there? You're promoting a violent thing against like these unwilling participants. So I was sitting there, I'm like, well, y'all asked for it.
The see how you like being the prey sort of thing. Like, all right, I feel that. Mm-hmm. But just what really the knife twist for this one, and I appreciate it as a character beat, is that this was supposed to be a duel between 3 people. Mm-hmm. Not only did he change it, the fact that so much of this arc is about demi-human rights and Katie being bullied for believing in demi-human rights. And he turns around and takes this duel and makes it into a demi-human slaughter. Specifically, like that is a knife twist for this. That is him going, oh yes, it's an age-old Wizards game. I've altered the terms of the deal. Pray I do not alter them further. Here, come participate in this blood sport specifically designed to upset the friend that you're trying to defend. Like, incredible character moment for this complete jackass. Just wow, what a great bit of writing.
Something I noticed too, I don't know if you noticed, I thought it was interesting. There's a little moment where our hero dude, Oliver, when he heals himself, he steps out of the fray. Now, it could be that he's just getting out of the way to, not be in the action when he's doing something. But it almost felt like he's hiding how good he can do some stuff. I wondered. I'm like, ooh, is he doing this out of line of sight from other people? But then again, the other guy's right there. So, but it was interesting.
That's fair, especially since we have the comments on like he fights in a way that only an expert can appreciate. So that's a fair assessment. I very much read it as I need to do some first aid before I bleed out. Let me get myself out of the line of fire to do that.
Yeah.
So that he doesn't get attacked again while he's trying to, stitch his gut wound back together. So could go either way.
We got Giga Derek saying, reminded me of Hot Fuzz at the end. All violence and no death, acceptable.
The greater good. With the Persona 5 mask. Like, okay, kids, what are we doing here? Is this a cult of students? Is this a cult comprised entirely of students?
Well, I also want to know how old was his mom? That his mom.
She looked young.
She looked super young. That I'm like, how?
However, anime.
Yes. She looks 12, but she's actually 25.
She looks 12, but she's actually 400.
Yeah.
Anime.
Yeah. I'm curious how old she is because it was like, wait a minute, how old is
Was.
we? Yeah, how old she was. Well, how old is she in those clips? You know,
Yeah.
'cause she's clearly not pregnant, so it's not like she was running away while pregnant. So has she already had him as a baby,
Yes.
or
Otherwise,
where
he
are
would
we in
not have
that timeline?
survived.
Yeah, so you're like, where
Yeah.
are we on this timeline of things?
But he still
Um,
could have been. There's a question of whether he was old enough to remember that, like, mom never came
yeah.
home, or
Mhm.
whether are they even his cousins, is my question, or is this just a
You
sympathetic
know,
family?
the way they all interacted with each other and were a bit friendly. I thought, I'm like, are they cousins? Yeah, I'm like, I feel this
Like,
is cousins by name only. You know, like
yeah,
you're just close with them, and so you call them a cousin.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I
some
was getting that
family had
vibe.
to take him in and raise him, and the
Yeah.
question is whether they were blood or whether they were, friends of hers who knew that she was a spellblade and just,
Hmm.
yeah, who
Yeah.
knows, honestly. There's
Uh,
there's no telling yet.
referring
We
to the
might find
age
out, we might
thing.
not.
Kikadare goes, why you gotta be like this, anime?
As
Agreed.
Mother's Basement puts it, anime is gonna anime.
Yes. Yep.
I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely fair.
Uh,
Um, yeah, so
well,
who
I like mine
knows?
that saying anime is weird is redundant.
Yeah.
All anime
Anime
is
is
weird
weird and
in
the
some
sun is
way.
slightly warm.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but that's why we like it.
we have this motivation, we have this setup, we have two spellblades in play at this point. We're gonna go back and talk about the other one because right now we're talking about cult shenanigans.
Yes.
Boy, I love this show. Wow. Let's talk about the other Doomsday Weapon. Once we're done with the cult shenanigans, I do appreciate his kind of like threads of fate thing where he can do the Doctor Strange thing, see all these outcomes and find the one that
Yes.
works. Like,
Yes, that was cool. You're like, "Oh, okay,
yeah.
special
Yeah.
abilities." Mhm.
I appreciate that, and I also appreciate that it shows the toll that it takes on him. That
Yeah.
this is not a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
Yeah.
And I guess that means that spell blades can be passed down through
Ooh,
blood. I guess they
maybe.
didn't know that he was her daughter. Who
Mm,
knows, man? Who knows?
unclear. Yeah.
Unclear. I
And
do
then
love that at the end of the flashback, we did get a straight up betrayal from the head, like the literal backstab from the future headmistress. Like, I love that.
yeah.
That's so good. It's
I
terrible. It's so good.
I love that all the teachers are involved in on this, and you're like, "Oh, okay." Uh,
Like, this whole school was this school, like, the school has to predate this. This couldn't have been too long ago. And the institution has been around for longer than that. But I'm just sitting here going, why was the entire school in on it? What the hell? Why
yes.
was the whole faculty in on this murder plan?
Yeah, why do they wanna kill her,
Why
you
was
know?
there a murder plan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Spellblades being too powerful, I guess.
Yeah, I hope it's something a little more impressive. I feel that'd be weak, if
Then
we
again,
also
we
get the
don't
don't trust
know.
that other teacher
Well, he's
Independence
dead
Day,
now, so
you know. But there was a reason, don't trust him.
don't trust it. Yeah, the whole he takes promising students, ruins their careers, and steals their
Mhm.
work as his own. I'm like, oh, I mean, he was already still willing to use torture spells in the classroom, so like,
Yep.
sure, Jan.
And then that one other teacher, uh,
The the care of
or
magical
upperclassmen,
creatures for hmm?
right? It was upperclassmen?
Which one? What point are we
Who
talking about
sorry,
here?
the one who, going on to the scientific
Hmm.
experimentation one. It's like, was that upperclassman or a teacher? No, it was upperclassman,
The one with
right?
the eyes,
Yes.
upperclassman, fourth year.
Okay.
Yeah, her whole oh boy, but her working with him, the two of
Yes, there
them
we go.
working
Vera.
together. And
Yes.
God bless this absolute dipshit of a man. Humanity is comprised of 1% geniuses and 90% morons. And if we use this same intelligence therapy, basically, on their brains, then we can have more geniuses and fewer morons. I'm like, oh, oh, you're either an idiot or a eugenicist. And that Venn diagram overlap is very close to being a fucking circle in your case. No, for him specifically, I think it
Uh,
is a circle.
yeah. No, that was one of those. Wait, what?
It's just
Oh,
like,
okay.
that's your motivation? What
Yay!
is wrong? Why can't you just go live in a cabin in the woods and not fucking bother anyone? My God.
And then we
And you're
learned.
here shaping young minds when you think 99% of
Yeah.
them are idiots and you steal from the 1% you think have promise?
Yep.
Whole man disposal service, please and thank you. Like, just throw the whole man out
Yep.
and
Uh,
stab him and then torture him 50 different ways before he begs for death, I guess. Wow.
and then we have we have Vera who had affected that poor troll that can speak now, but like, how messed up are they as part of their life? But I was like, oh,
Because that's a
when we
troll
learned
that's not
that
going to
motive.
fit in anywhere.
No.
They're not going to fit into society because society's like, you're a troll, you don't have rights.
Yep.
And they're not going to fit in back with trolls because they've
They're
been
going to be different.
modified, they've been
Yes.
changed.
But I like that we got that kind of like, so what happened, of like what
Yeah,
really was the thing.
because we had the Mr. Anderson whole
I bet
cabin in
there
the
is a whole
woods.
cabin in the woods set up somewhere with this school.
Probably, man.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh God.
Yep.
But I love that we got the change of heart from Rick as it was. Like no longer calling him Dick, that's fine.
Yeah.
With him realizing like, oh wait, no, this is what I want to be like, trying to be brave in the face of danger as opposed to afraid of failure. Which again, with the whole he's been compared to what's her name? Chele? I
Uh,
hers is the name that trips me up every time.
was
Everyone else has with the exception of
oh,
Nanau, everyone else has a
it looks
bog
like
standard.
Michaela, but it's Michela. Well, it's spelled with CH, but
Yeah, well, Michaela can be spelled with that, but they've been calling her like Chella.
Michela. Let's go with Michela.
Not even Michela, just Chella.
Okay.
Like we've been doing like cool. That's why it keeps tripping me up because again, everyone else with the exception of now has like bog standard white European name.
Yes.
You know?
Well, now, for her, she is probably from like a Japan kind of thing, so her
Yeah,
name
that's
makes
that's
sense.
the XP.
Yeah.
She's very much from a different country, and
Yeah.
we had the racist macroaggressions last
Yep.
week. Man, this show does not give a singular fuck. Wow. It's like, no, we're just gonna get right into it. Like, okay, yeah, more confirmation that this whole demi-humans right thing isn't just a oh this sliver of people or oh this sliver of school, like that it is a thing in this
Yeah.
world. Because again, what happens within the bounds of a school is not always indicative of society at large.
Yes.
But I guess in this case it is. But yeah, Chella for MVP. Holy cow. Holding the fort in episode 4. But yeah, if Rick kept being compared to her and found wanting, like, no wonder he has this crazy inferiority complex. No wonder he's so touchy about everything and so holier than thou. Like, that's the environment he was raised in. I would imagine there was a good amount of, why aren't you at her standard? Oh, you lost to her. Why? Why aren't you as good at this? You're bringing shame on whatever family. Whereas Jella's family was like, good going, sweetie. We love you. Good job.
Yeah, I think she's definitely the MVP most of the time because I do like that
Oh my god, yes.
but she's not as people say, the dumb expression. She's not Mary Sue,
Yeah.
because like I'm like, no, she's just really good at what she does. She is just cool and level-headed, and I like during the fight, people want to go do something, and she's like, no, my job is to stay here and protect y'all.
Yeah.
I'm really good at this, and not like putting them down. And
Yeah.
she's the one who's like, I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want her in charge as well.
She would be, were this a different anime, she'd be a fantastic main character. As
Mhm.
it is, we have two extremely protagonist coded people in this group. We have Oliver and we have Nanao. And obviously, these are going to be our protagonists with the, white hair combat capability, just the
Oh,
you
yeah.
obviously stood out, and the fucking murder cult. Oh my god. But Chella is one of those all around badasses. One of those people
Yes.
where they're not going to be the big standout, but they're going to be steady no matter what you ask them to do. They are competent in a good number of things. And
Mm-hmm.
so if you can come to them say, I need help with my homework. Hey, can you talk with me about this problem I'm having? Hey, you're a better combatant than everyone else here. Can you hold the fort in case people try something while we're down here doing protagonist things? And the answer is always yes. And she follows through.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. She's just
Well, she's
MVP
not
is not
arrogant
always
about
the
it either.
flashiest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly. No, she's
she's like,
great.
"Yeah, this is great."
This
She's
is
like,
the
"I can do
kind of friend you want to have. MVP is not always flashiest. MVP is the person that gets the team over the finish line.
this."
And
Mm-hmm.
that's her time and time again.
Yeah. We had our magical lesson. I was thinking that of like somebody doing a really good job. I did like that with Oliver of knowing everything for that class. The different,
The alchemy class, yeah.
yes, that was pretty fun. And,
Yeah.
you know, helping others out and then asking for help and being okay with help. A nice lesson on
Yeah.
that, because we have our sweetie, our, not Pete, Guy.
Guy.
No, yep, our Guy, and oh no, wait, not Guy. It was Pete. Sorry. How Pete doesn't have the magical abilities, and he wants to try. I get it. He wants to prove he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
But it's okay to, have somebody double check your work or something. It doesn't reflect on you, and it's better safe than sorry. So I'm glad that it's kind of showing that as well in the show.
Yeah. I do understand where he's coming from though, because Chell and oh my god, Oliver wanting to keep an eye on people, helping Nanau, who has zero
Oh yeah,
experience in all of
so
this
her.
and is just pants at it, and Guy, who, God bless him, is a total sweetheart and is more of a practical hands-on person. Like they
Yeah,
made a big deal of like he's a farmhand. He knows how to do a lot of these very practical things because
yeah,
that's what his family does, but doesn't necessarily have like he is a brawn not brains kind of guy.
yeah,
And there's nothing wrong with that. But he's also very aware of like, oh yeah, no, please double check my work so I don't explode things. Like I know some things, I don't know this. This is
yeah.
some fiddly noise. Whereas Pete being very academic and no, I studied this. No, this is academic stuff. I can totally do this. Like, don't loop me in. Don't lump me in with the people who don't have my brain power, who do need that level of help. Don't lump me in with them
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't have the pedigree. He
Yeah,
had to fight for his place in this school. I can see him very much being like, I had to pass all these tests to be here. Don't lump me in with the people who got in on essentially, who got grandfathered into this school. Like,
yeah.
I fought my way here. I know what I'm doing. This is smart kid stuff, and I'm a smart kid. It's like,
Which is good, but let's
yeah, but the
sprinkle in some
practical
humility.
experience,
Yeah.
yeah. Humility, and also there's a difference between theory and practice.
Yes. Yes.
And you
There's.
can lose some things in translation.
Yeah. Uh, what were some other things that stood out? I feel we hit the major.
We need to talk about Nanau's Spellblade. We
Yeah.
need to talk about how she just straight up went, oh, I'll never get there in time, so I'll just slice through time.
No
What?
big.
Sure. Why did you need to be rescued? Remind me again why your impetus to coming to this school was being rescued when you can just do that.
Maybe she didn't have it yet.
I guess.
Let's go
Maybe
with
it
that.
was just too many opponents. Maybe she was like,
Yeah.
guess I'll die. I don't know, man. But the weird thing is, in terms of suspension of disbelief, I'm watching this going, okay, they're going to pull something out. They have to. Someone's going to figure something out. And then she just goes, I'll cut through time. And I was like, what on God's green? And then Oliver goes, an undiscovered spellblade. And my suspension of disbelief immediately went, that's cool. That's the seventh one they haven't found yet. All right, I am back to totally believing this is happening. Like, that's all it took. Man, this show is well constructed.
It is one of
Batshit
those.
insane, but well constructed.
Yeah, and it keeps getting more elaborate as it goes on because I did think
Yeah.
like at the very beginning you're like, okay, cool, like kids in magical school, but then like they're all, oh, and by the way, And by the way, and more. And whoa, slow down. Okay. We
It
get it. You
just
got layers.
by episode 3, we had a battle between upperclassmen in which one guy had a skeleton made of other skeletons of creatures that he had murdered and or grave robbed, and his opponent had a monster that she had literally birthed right there on the battlefield. And we're just like, this is happening, I guess. And then it got crazier from there. I was not expecting this when I watched the first episode. Again, the litmus test for episode 1 was they sure did just pancake a dog. And I was like, all right, this is what we're getting into. And no, that was not what we were getting into. The murder cult under the school is just kind of where my brain goes.
Do you think there's a point with the mask, or
I don't know,
like
man.
I'm like, what
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. They all know who he is.
Yeah, that's why I was
Why
like,
are you
why?
wearing a mask if they all know who you are?
And so
I don't know, man. That does
thinking these
explain why he has a bodyguard.
yeah, because that's the other thing. Like, why does he
Yeah,
have the bodyguard?
yeah.
Are we to assume all those murder clan, they all go to the school as well?
Yes.
Because they had uniforms. Um, and then, you know, what what is the other detail with him that people why would somebody want to murder him? So I don't know.
I would imagine that because we had that whole lecture about spellblades and no one knows where they are and they're unbeatable and that cult uniforms. Yep. And that's just such a crazy power imbalance for
Mm,
this world. Like, it's the sort of god tier spell where if someone tries to propose it in like a tabletop game or whatever, you call it game breaking and you say, no, you can't.
mm.
Like, this is a sort of thing where it's literally unbeatable. So, of course, if they saw it as a threat, again, we don't know. I know we had her name. I can't remember her name. Mom, dead mom.
Oh yeah, I'm like, ooh, I
Dead.
don't remember.
She's
Dead
gonna
mom.
be dead mom because I've been listening to the Beetlejuice the musical soundtrack for years now. Um, we don't know anything else about her aside from the fact that she had the spell blade and she got super betrayed and murdered.
Yeah,
Like, what did she do with it? What
yeah.
was she like? Was she using it willy nilly to fuck people up? Or
Gigadare points out, good question. Did we get her name?
we
Good
did.
point. We did.
We did because
Okay.
Oliver name dropped her to the professor to be
Uh,
like, "Hey, I'm her kid, fucko." So I'm that's what I'm remembering at least. I think we got her name. I could be misremembering it. Regardless, we don't know anything about Dead Mom. We don't know what she was like. We don't know if she was an innocent victim where they found out she had this power for one reason or another and went, no, she needs to die. She's too dangerous. Or if she was running around and being an unholy terror with it and using it to super murder people. Like, all we have is the scene of the death, and even then, that is unreliable narrator territory. Who knows if that's how it actually went down? Because we have it told from Oliver's point of view. And he wasn't there. He didn't witness it. He got it from, presumably, whoever was raising him. Uncertain whether they were an ally of Dead Mom, a relative, like someone connected, I would imagine, because the cousins know. But we don't know her story. We don't know what she was like or what she did. We don't know if this was again, she has this power, she's too powerful, we have to get rid of her before something happens, or because we want it for ourselves, or if she was an unholy serial killer murder terror and this was rounding up the posse to be like, now we're done.
oh,
We're dead.
thank
No
you.
more of this unholy serial killer murder terror.
Oh, thank you, Gay Derek. I was trying to look too, Chloe.
Oh,
But
Chloe.
it's
Okay.
one of those. I was trying not to look because it started to look like spoilers on certain things. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
how do I look
It's
for?
hard to Google things when you're
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's
So,
so much more with her that we don't know, and I want to know
yeah.
more. So
Yeah. We don't know anything, so I'm not about to make a judgment, but
no.
like when your response is murder cult, you might need therapy. You really need
Might,
therapy. But yeah, just
or
the
what was she about that inspired a cult? You know,
I mean, he's got a spell blade that can predict the future.
or that. You know, it's like
So,
what
we
motivates those
don't
people to follow along. You know, and stick around.
yeah. aside from Nanao, who has a super special spell blade that we've literally never seen before and allows her to cut space time. Uh, again, I really appreciate sitting here going, boy, that doesn't seem physically possible. And then Oliver pointing out, that doesn't seem physically possible. It's a new spell blade. Oh my God. Like, thank you. I feel validated. Aside from
I
that,
love when shows do that so much.
yes.
You're
You're
like, I
sitting
have
here
a
going,
question, and then the characters go, I have the same question. You're like, thank you.
like, all
Makes
right, cool.
sense. Yeah.
It's like,
Hmm.
oh, okay. So this really is like physically impossible for most people. And we've just discovered that she's super special, awesome, and doesn't know it.
Yes.
Got it. Hand in hand with the white hair showing the ridiculous magical
Yeah.
potential. Like, sure, yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
Those pieces are clicking into place. We got the little corner pieces for the puzzle, and we're building out.
Yes.
Um, I had something to say about Murder Cult, and boy, I forgot.
Hmm.
Oh, we don't know what the other Spellblades are like. We don't
No,
know
we
what
do
they
not.
can
Yeah.
do, and we don't know who they are at all, let alone who they are as people.
Yeah.
So we don't really have a basis of comparison for how Spellblades are treated in this world.
Ooh.
We just know that it's a straight up secret.
Gigadare goes, one predicts the future, one breaks time. Could there be a pattern? Like they're all related
Yeah,
to time in some way? Maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
yeah, they're also all just massively broken.
Hmm.
So again, I can see if someone is abusing that power, wanting to get rid of them, and potentially it seems like if she was the last of her line, would that have removed that particular spell blade from play
Mm.
fully?
Mm.
Because our teacher seemed surprised that she had a son and that that meant the spell
Hmm.
blade had lived on. So
Hmm.
I wonder if this isn't something that's passed down, through generations of the Armstrong family, as it
Yeah.
were, which would make a lot of sense. And it would also make sense why people keep it secret, because otherwise you wind up back in eugenics hell with people trying to specifically do arranged marriages to get
Yeah.
this is how you wind up with Todoroki problems. How many other anime can I reference? What a day. What a
Yes.
day. Happy Monday, everybody.
All right.
Um,
No, I'm loving that energy. I'm like, woof, it's a Monday. I'm like,
why
but
is eugenics something we're considering in this anime? Why does it keep getting brought up? Oh my god, why? What are we watching?
a very elaborate show.
Yeah, it's real messy, but I love it. It's actually extremely well constructed. It's just messed up.
Yes,
Um,
agreed.
good
So
shit.
far, I've been
Good
very
shit.
impressed with where things are going that you're like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, interesting." Like, it just keeps getting your attention more and more. You're like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah." Yeah.
I think this is the sort of show where it's gonna need multiple seasons. I think that our
Mm.
like breakneck pace means that we're going to get a 12 or 13 episode season, and
Mhm.
that it's going to be a good stopping place but not a full adaptation,
Yeah.
and that if it's successful enough we will be looking at a second season for the
Hmm.
rest of it, or at least the next chunk of it,
Yeah.
cuz boy is everything happening really quickly.
Yes, and a lot that you're kinda like, "Can this all get wrapped up in a decent amount
Yeah.
of time that we're gonna be satisfied with, or will it feel rushed?"
Yeah. But I
A
appreciate that we
prediction?
have character moments in, like, the detention room, which is a literal
Yeah.
dungeon, which is
Yeah.
hysterical to me,
Yes.
and Katie's recovery in the beginning of episode 6, and
Yeah.
her basically going, like, after the fight for her honor, for people standing up for her, and then nearly getting her brainstem, cut it
Yeah.
open and see how many rings are inside. Like, you can see someone's personality in their goddamn
Oh,
brainstem.
sure.
Again,
I
every once in a while, we turn around and reinvent things like phrenology.
Katie
Anyway,
Derrick says it will be a 13 episode season.
good to know. We
Okay.
are at the halfway point,
I
which
appreciated
makes
the
sense that we get the cult right now at the halfway
yes.
point.
I appreciated the humor and adorable sweetness of Katie getting her victory kiss.
Yes. Oh my God. That was so funny. I
That was
love her.
so cute and precious and
I
like,
feel like
oh,
Guy is our audience XP in terms of enthusiasm and relative level of knowledge. And Katie is our audience XP in terms of, I am a normal ass human wondering what the hell is going on around here.
yes.
She makes me happy.
She's just precious. We need to protect her, which I
And I
like that
appreciate,
the
yeah.
group does.
Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
I appreciate that her response to all this was, okay, I'm gonna go find the senpai who tried to dissect me, slap her across the face, and give her a piece of my mind. Then I'm gonna get used to this completely weird situation, and then I'm gonna make it mine. Like, I am going to make this school a kinder place by the time I leave. It's just like, I love you so much. It is so hard not to lose your kindness and your softness in the face of what Kimberly encourages. We
Yeah.
have a dual labyrinth, people. We have people fighting each other nightly downstairs, and we
Yeah.
lose 20% of our students to death or overexposure to magic or who knows what the fuck by the time graduation rolls around. Like, this is a very rough and violent school. And again, not necessarily indicative of the world at large, but that is kind of what we've seen so far.
I'm gonna go with
And so
yes.
for her rolling in and saying, yes, this is what I believe, yes, this is what I know, I am going to adjust to this school better, but I will not lose my kindness, and I am going to
Mhm.
bend this attitude to my will. It's just like, I love Katie.
Yeah.
I love Katie.
Katie loves
Chele,
Katie.
Chele is MVP. Katie for fucking president.
Yep.
God damn.
Gigner
Which is
goes.
weird for me to say, but you know.
Gigner says just had a Yu-Gi-Oh flashback at Dual Labyrinth. Yeah, I think.
Better dubbing here.
Yeah.
The lack of rhyming couplets really elevated this.
Yeah.
The Paradox Brothers was a rough time
All
in
right.
dubbing, but not bad.
Well, as you were saying, so for next week we should be caught up. So that will cover us
Yes.
now for up to episode 6. Thank you all for checking that out. And now,
Yo.
it was a lot.
That was a lot.
You're like, oh, that was a lot. So
Mhm.
now let's get into some other stuff you should check out. So these are shows, movies, books, anything that we have been reading, watching, whatever that we think you should check out. I was like, I need to go look at my little planner. I'm like, what did we watch this week? Oh yeah. I have my Star Wars because I started watching Ahsoka, which is pretty
Nice.
darn cool. The thing I'd recommend though is go watch Star Wars Rebels, the animated series, because there is so much that just like leads into Ahsoka. So you get character context, you get some plot context,
Yeah.
and it really just picks up where Rebels leaves off. So there are lists online that are like, here are the key episodes to watch. So that's what I did. I've seen like couple like highlights, but now watching Ahsoka, I'm like, I need to go back because like we've met this character and I don't get you haven't gotten all their history, which is in this animated show.
Yeah.
So you've
I
watched Rebels,
very
right? Is
much.
that the one
Oh,
you
I
guys watched?
loved
Okay.
Rebels. God, yes. I haven't seen Clone Wars. I have watched
Okay.
Rebels, and I know there's the whole
Bad
"Do you like
Batch.
Clone Wars versus" thing, and it's like there's no versus here. You're
Oh, they're
allowed to have
so
a preference,
different.
whatever.
Yeah, no.
They're extremely different.
Yeah.
You want to talk about breakneck pacing? You watch Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Wow. Might
And
have
then
just been the
Clone
handful
Wars,
that I saw.
I've only seen some of it. I do
Yeah.
recommend Bad Batch. I've talked about that. That
Yes.
one influences some of what happens in Rebels in terms of you've met some of the clones.
Yeah.
So that's cool to know, like, you know, how they're
Yeah.
all connected there.
But yeah,
So,
if
yes.
you've got the time, I do highly recommend watching all of Star Wars Rebels. It is one of those, yes, this starts off aimed at a younger audience, but it's still intrinsically Star Wars at its core.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes some very interesting and very special places. And also, if y'all want to see Grand Admiral Thrawn, that's Rebels. That is where, oh my God, incredible. Just incredible. We have bits of Maul in Rebels. We have Grand Admiral Thrawn. We have Ahsoka in and out a few times. We have the introduction of the Inquisitors. For those of you who were looking at Obi-Wan and going, "What?" The Inquisitors, man, just oh my God, oh my God. Yeah, no. For a first season villain, I think he lasted longer than that actually. The Grand Inquisitor was an unholy terror and just wonderful. A plus, highly recommend. Watch Star Wars Rebels, especially going into Ahsoka, because again, I haven't seen the Ahsoka episodes yet, but like having even just seen the trailers and knowing who these people are, like, how do
Yep.
you roll into this without that backstory? How do you
Which is
do
really
that?
cool. I think they did a great job of bringing these animated people characters to life.
Yeah.
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 Giglio says he lasted through season 1.
Go back. Go back, fam.
So
It's
I'm
good
gonna go
shit.
check it out.
Yeah.
And then I would say the other thing, if you want just something cool action, it delivered what I wanted in terms of like, ooh, action James Bondy. Heart of Stone, with Gal Gadot, Alia Bhatt, and some other people that I enjoy as well, but I can't remember the names at the moment. But if you want cool action spy type of movie, it delivers on that. And then the other thing, another one that it was on my list for a while, and I finally watched it, is Bahubali, which is a South Indian film. It's in the original Tamil language on Netflix, so you can pick what option you want. So just be careful when you click it. Like I had to make sure. I'm like, what are my subtitle and original language options? So if you saw RRR and you liked it, this is the same director, but it's a historical, older epic, like even more grandiose scale. It is a part 1, just so you know, because it's the beginning. It's Bahubali, the beginning, but it has all that kind of action. It has there's a lot of fun and so a little bit of romance. But that was a really cool. Like if you want just some like grandiose action over the top and an interesting time period one that's not as common, I think, in like our history movies that we make here, because it's even old, it's very old. But yes, go check those out.
Nice.
um, and then I
Nice.
was looking. Giga Derek says Zeb makes a brief appearance in Mandalorian.
I did see that. That was fun. It was just like, hey,
And Katie, what
hello.
about you?
Yes.
Things,
Of course,
life.
Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Life happened so much. Look, I did so much lead up for the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade.
Yes.
Again, like media consumption. What is it? We finished Tears of the Kingdom.
Yay!
So, and by finished, I mean we finished the main plot. We
Right.
we defeated Ganondorf as you do in Zelda games. And yeah, no spoilers other than we finished the main plot. And oh my god, boy, was that amazing. What a great game. So if you haven't played Tears of the Kingdom, make sure you play Breath of the Wild first. It is very much a sequel to that. Like, you will be lost on things if you have not played Breath of the Wild. So play Breath of the Wild. If you've played Breath of the Wild and you haven't done Tears of the Kingdom, do Tears of the Kingdom. Incredible. So much fun. Um, I would not, I really couldn't say which one is the stronger game. It's really going to depend on your preferences. Tears of the Kingdom definitely rolled out like you beat Matt Mercer. Congrats. Yeah. What was wild about the Ganondorf scenes is that I've watched enough Critical Role and I've seen enough of Matt Mercer's roles to know what he's capable of in terms of voices. What he's using for Ganondorf is like the bog standard half an octave down evil Matt Mercer voice, and it just kept throwing me. Like, you can hear the Matt Mercer in there, you know? Much like Steve Bloom has two voices that are like, that's Steve Bloom, or like, that's Steve Bloom with an accent. And then he has these roles where he just disappears, and you look at them and you're like, holy shit, that was Steve Bloom? Like, Matt Mercer is also very much capable of that, where it's like, that's Matt. That's Matt with a specific accent. Holy fuck, that was Matt. Ganondorf is very much the Matt default villain voice. And again, it's not bad. It just kept throwing me because I could really hear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a wild one. It's a wild one. It's not bad. It's just like, yep, he did a bang up job. This is a personal hang up. So yeah, Tears of the Kingdom, amazing. And because it's been living in my brain since February, and I might as well cycle back around to it. And because Mutant Mayhem just dropped, and Mutant Mayhem is wonderful. Saw it twice, recommend it. Good stuff. Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the most recent show. Mutant Mayhem is getting its own, not even spinoff. I think it might be a continuation show eventually. But Rise dropped in 2018 and had a movie in, God, the movie dropped in 2022. It just had its 1 year anniversary. Holy cow, what is time? Um, yeah, it is the most recent series for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is very much a reimagining. It pulls in some classic beats. It also does a lot of stuff. It also makes a lot of things its own. We have some classic Turtles villains that we're dealing with. It also makes a brand new Rogues gallery that is so much fun, beyond fun to watch. The voice acting is great. The animation is phenomenal. My God, the fight scenes, the Sakuga for this show, the Sakuga for an 11-minute episode, American animated cartoon, unbelievably good. Like the animation in this is beautiful. And it's very good at, for the most part, it keeps a comedic tone. It has fun. It has those heartfelt moments. But when it turns on the plot and really turns on the, we're being serious now, we're going to have some fun here. Like that tonal shift is extremely well executed and very well done. And holy shit, the movie. Um, the show really likes looking at some of the classic villains and going, how do we reinterpret this? How do we make this our own? It's been a hot minute since I've been truly afraid of a Shredder incarnation, and the way that the show handles the Shredder is incredible. And then the movie is their take on the Krang. And the movie didn't have to be TVY7 to air on the network. It's a Netflix exclusive. So they kind of took some of the body horror and cranked it up to 11 as much as they could while still keeping their target audience in mind. So the movie is a wild one. A lot of fun. Really wild. There's a reason that this show has just settled in my brain and been like, you're going to have brainworms about this for the next God knows how long. Have fun with that. So, yes, join me in Turtle Hell. Rise is available. The first season and I believe the movie are on Netflix, and both seasons are on Paramount Plus. And the movie comes after the second season, which is why things get weird. But yeah, we're at 2 seasons in a movie, and we're having so much fun, you guys. Also, single best April O'Neil I've ever seen. Fight Me. She's phenomenal.
I was gonna say that one does get a lot of people getting up in arms for it. They're just like, I get it. You love a character, but they can change over time. And guess what? The one you love is still there. So we can make
Yeah.
different versions. So
There was a lot of like, hey, what the hell are you doing? Because it starts with Raphael being the leader when usually it's Leonardo. And then you start getting into it and you look at the personalities on these and go, oh no, that's why. Okay, this makes sense. Like all of those, hey, why is this different? Like they address it, they work with things. It's very
and
much its own thing. It's very different from the classic stuff, but it's so much fun.
But I would think that's a good thing too, because then it's
Oh
refreshing.
yeah.
Because if you know and love a story, you've already seen it. Let's take
Yeah.
a new, fresh take. Yeah.
Yeah.
A different take on things too, in a way. Gig Derek says a few years old, but recommending Red Dead Redemption 2. Finally getting to playing it, and I am all in on this story.
Oh, I hear good things. Yeah.
Yes, same. I started and then I got stuck on trying to race my horse at one point, and now I don't have a PlayStation that will play my games, so I need to acquire a new one.
Is it broken?
It broke, and then I also have Kingdom Hearts, and then I don't have a system to play it on either.
Oh no.
And I'm like, well,
Ooh,
about that. So
I still have my PS2 and it still works. Knock wood.
yeah, that's the funny thing. PS2 worked. The PS3 is the one that died. So go figure.
I was
But
gonna say, did we have Kingdom Hearts games on the PS3? What?
or at least
Did we? I
thought
didn't
that's
think
what I have. But maybe
the
it's
4 had the Kingdom Hearts 3 release and the compilations.
I have one. Whatever it is, I don't have the system.
Whatever it is, it's dead now.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh.
Though there are some places that sell used systems, like in Little
Yeah.
Tokyo, that I'm like, maybe. But yeah. That's so thank you everybody for tuning in to Nighttime at the Nerd Bar this week, bringing you that Monday energy, because Monday.
And how?
But that's okay, because we are here. because we love talking about anime and all things nerdy stuff with all of you. So thank you everybody who joined us in the live chat. And if you're watching later, comment down below your thoughts on the different topics we talked about over the course of this episode. Go follow us on Twitter. NTATNB will post other kind of updates there, images from different stories we've covered, and that's just a good spot to get information as well as conversation. And Katie, let's get to there. Oh wait, not that.
I was like, good enough. I
There.
was all ready to go.
Now, where can people find you online?
You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. Yes, I am also a co-host on Silver Screams, which is a horror channel on YouTube that my roommate and I do, where she is the horror aficionado and I'm really super not. So if you want to see me get straight up jump scared, that's the channel.
Nice.
We have fun here.
Yes. You're just adorable when you get scared, though, so I sent you Five Nights at Freddy. When I find Five Nights at Freddy things, though, I'm like, here, let me send it to you.
I know, and I appreciate it. That's very much the, oh, it's a thing that reminded me of you here, and I'm like, yay!
Yeah, those are good to do, everybody. So go for it.
Yes,
Don't hold back.
yes. There is nothing wrong with sending your friend memes that remind you of them. It's a hi, I love you. Hi.
You're like
good.
instant. Oh, wait, that way. Yeah.
Yeah, like hello.
And you all can find me online at Carrie D Lane. That's KARIDLANE across all the social media webs. And here on the Fanversation channel, we mentioned a lot of videos, so make sure you subscribe, hit that thumbs up button. Nothing super new, but just follow us on the social medias and hear the best way to update when new things drop. Hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. So yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
So thank you everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.